Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is. Well, maybe I should move my mic closer. It's been a minute. I hope you guys are doing good. Um, I'm doing pretty okay. Uh, needed something to uplift me today, so I figured it's been a minute. I'm gonna go pop on live and do some card pulls. Um, so here I am. Before I start, important to take your meds and drink some water. Okay? Especially summer's here. You sweat more. That's why I got all the blinds covered. Because it looks like I'm crooked. There. Looked like my room was starting to fall over. Anyway, yeah. It's warming up here, so I keep all the blinds closed to, keep it nice and cool. Um, yeah, take your meds, drink your water, and coffee. All right. So, hey Jessica, I'm doing good. Um, you know, feeling it today. When you like if you have depression or anxiety or anything, or even like just your natural cycles, how you can kind of feel yourself kind of slipping and going back to the kind of dark place. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm doing things to combat that. you know, like popping on here, going live. I also have really bad allergies, hence why I keep wiping my nose. Um, but I'm here to try to inspire positivity today, not only for you guys, but for me. So here I am. Um, breaking out of the cycle. The last couple days, I've been kind of like a bump on a log, not doing too much. Um, but today, I'm here. I'm back at it. Well, I did some stuff yesterday. I painted. That's something. Maybe a lot of my issue is I sell myself short with what I do. So in my mind, I'll be like, "Oh, I was lazy and I did absolutely nothing." But in retrospect, I actually did something, so I should give myself credit for that. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna dive in and do a quick as above so below reading for myself or in general. Hi Stacy. I hope you're doing well today. Oh, whoops. Slow down. Okay. Sweet. So, when I do my readings, the as above, so below, like the top one is the what do you need to do, and the bottom one is how, or something like that, or like the light, the shadow, kind of deal. Um, I got tap into primal power. Very cool card. I like the colors. Love the colors. That blue against orange. Very cool. And then I got give and receive, which I have never pulled before. So that is neat. Alright, so I am gonna read the books for these. Just because I encounter them so infrequently that my gut reaction says, tap into primal power. You have to really look inside of yourself. His shirt's not straight. There we go. Anyway, give and receive, that's just that. Give and receive is really, you know, it's for some of us it's much easier to give. For some of us it's much easier to receive, you know. So it's a give and take. Like if you're constantly receiving and not giving, one, if you're conscious of that and you're a decent human being, you're gonna kind of feel bad because you're not giving anything and just taking, right? Or receiving rather. Um, but if you're just constantly giving, you're gonna run out of stuff to give. If you're not getting anything back. So, I enjoy that card. So 31. Tap into primal power. It appears that your life or some area of your life has become stagnant, stuck, or overly predictable. To get things moving, you must let go of the need to control. Tap into your fiery passion and enjoy the liberation that comes from expressing your wild and untamed nature. In this way, you will reconnect with your primal power, which is a source of unlimited creativity and fulfillment. Whether you can feel it or not, there is a burning need within you to bring forth something specific. Perhaps it's a career, a business, a creative endeavor, or conscious upgrade in any life area, or another bold and positive new step. You will discover what this is, or gain clarity on how to move forward when you reconnect with the raw force of your inner fire. It is no longer sustainable to tiptoe, play nice, or give away your power in any way. Own who you are, stop apologizing for what you want, and allow your words and deeds to flow from your deepest and most primal self, right this very minute. You are an earthly manifestation of Shakti, the alive and dynamic force of creation. Invoke this force now. Let it guide you in taking risks, blazing through boundaries, and transcending everything that formerly seemed to hold you back. You will further benefit from honoring the force of physical desire in your body and your heart. Desire is the holy and divine energy that creates worlds, magnetizes and catalyzes relationships, and allows you to birth beautiful new conditions into form. Release any shame and guilt around desire. And remember that physical pleasure is a sacred gift of the goddess to all her earthly children. Rekindle your untamed awareness of your physicality. Celebrate the pulse of nature as it courses through your veins. Feel Mother Earth's heartbeat as your own. Howl at the moon, dance naked in the wind, and move your body for the sake of how good it feels. Feel your unity with the rhythms and cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Stir the cauldron within you. Come into glorious communion with your instinctual self and rise into authentic action. Reunite with the primal power that is your birthright. Channel that power toward living the life you want, manifesting all the desires of your heart, while enjoying complete freedom of personal and creative expression. That's a beautiful card. Really. You know, a lot of us, me included, I get caught up in what I should be doing, and the should is not dictated by me, it's dictated by everybody else. You know, a lot of the shame that I feel for doing anything, you know, whenever I feel shame, it's not, I'm not giving myself shame. I'm listening to everything around me, and I'm letting that place shame and blame onto me, which is not healthy. You know, this card really resonates with me because I've been doing this. You know, I gotta shy away from the everybody else and get down to me. It says that I'm supposed to bring forth something specific, and I'm telling you, I can feel that. Lately there's something, you know. This is a start. You know, I've been painting a little bit more. That's a start, but you know, it's right there, and I need to grab something that is not tangible. I don't know how to do it. All right. So the next one was the give and receive card. Very pretty card. Number 24. My nose is running. I hate it. Alright, so this one is give and receive. When dance is performed as an offering of love, it becomes a sacred infinity loop comprised of both giving and receiving. Life itself is quite the same. For the deepest human desire is for connection with others through offering personal essence and sharing what is most important to us. This generous vulnerability opens up a portal of inner connection that allows both the giver and receiver to be inspired, nourished, and healed. You possess a frequency that is marvelous and unique. You radiate your own special ray of beauty, wisdom, power, and magic. Now you are being asked to freely, confidently, and joyfully share who you are with the world. While it is natural to have an inner voice of criticism telling you that you're not ready or that you're self-centered to think you have something special to give, you must learn to override that voice and share your gifts anyway. That sentence hit. Wow. By hiding them, you are not doing anyone any favors. To do so means you are inhibiting the natural river of divine creative energy that wants to flow through you and denying the world the the world the distinctive splendor, beauty, and wisdom that only you can offer. In truth, the world wants to see and know you. When we receive another in the fullness of who they are and what they have to give, a point of connection is made that helps to illuminate the entire matrix, bringing more peace and harmony to the collective. You are also being called to surround others with space and empathetic attention so their unique beauty and wisdom can blossom and be fully received into your consciousness. The most valuable gift you can give someone is your full presence. Take them in from the depth of your heart. You can offer this receptivity whether you are watching someone on a stage or spending time with someone individually. Even as a performer, you can allow for a silent connection with the audience, letting it directly inform and activate the moment-to-moment offering of your performance. Giving and receiving are one and the same. When you offer your full presence and attention to receive someone, your presence is a treasure and a gift as well. Experience the wisdom in a palpable way by standing with your spine straight and your feet together. Face your palms upward toward the sky with the pinky fingers and inside edges of your hands touching. Inhale as you draw your hands toward yourself, letting your elbows extend outward. Swivel your hands so they are facing forward, thumbs touching, palm out, and exhale as you push your hands away from you. Swivel your hands inward again and inhale again, then repeat the exhaling movement as well. As you inhale and draw your hands inward, receive nourishment and support from the world. As you exhale, send out your blessing. Give of your talents, your essence, and love. Also receive. Listen deeply and be attentive, present, aware, and appreciative. Welcome the sacred energies and essence of another person and the blessings and beauty of the entire world. Oh, my nose. Beautiful card. Good morning, Melina. Yeah, when this one said, while it is natural to have an inner voice of criticism telling you that you're not ready or that you're self-centered to think you have something special to give, you must learn to override that voice and share your gifts anyway. Okay, so this reading, I needed this. I knew it. I woke up, felt kind of like crap, made my coffee, felt kind of more like crap, and I was like, I need to do a reading, I need to pop on, I need to do this for me, like, for real. And I'm so glad I did, because doing this, I struggle with confidence, first and foremost. Secondly, I got mommy issues, okay? And in the back of my head, I hear my mom's voice. She used to constantly call me selfish, and think that I knew it all, that kind of thing. And she would just say, you think the world revolves around you, don't you? Or you think you know everything, don't you? And that voice in the back of my head when I'm talking to people, when I'm, doing this, the healing thing, it's crazy. I get so overwhelmed by it sometimes. And this is just really, it's validation and confirmation that, I'm where I need to be. That I do have things to say, things worthwhile to say, I should say. Melina, battling an ear infection, those are the worst. I hate ear infections so much. I used to get them all the time as a kid. My mom and dad both smoked like chimneys, like in the car with me and stuff, so constant ear infections and sinus infections, and I, little 6th grade me just in the classroom crying. Ear infections suck. But yeah. So here, if anyone is curious, these are the 2 cards that I pulled. Very, very interesting reading that I needed to hear today. So thank you for being here with me through this. And, if any one of you wants a card pulled, let me know. Just comment. I'll pull a card for you. I got 2 decks out today. This deck is the Cosmic Dancer Oracle by Sedona Soulfire and Tess Whitehurst. one of my favorites. It's the first one that I got, um, and it's never steered me wrong. You know, you want a card pull? Up, yeah. Oh, got two. Yes. Alrighty. Get some of my go-go juice. All right, so Melina, you're up first. And then Terry, you're up next. All right, Stacy, thank you. New beginnings. That's, that's what these are all about. When you're feeling lost, you're in a transition point, and you just need some sort of, positive encouragement. I always Melina, I'm definitely gonna give you a card pull. I just one little thing, like I handle a lot of skeptics. My partner is a skeptic, and my point in all of this is even if I'm not communing with spirit, even if even if all of this is a crock of poo, then at least I have something that is giving me positive encouragement, words of advice, so yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. It's just something that always pops into my head. But Melina, all right. Oh. All right, Melina. Oh, this one. You got feel. Can you see it good enough? Maybe. This camera isn't the best, so it's really hard to get it to focus real good, But feel. Girl, you gotta feel your feelings. Alright, so in the back of the card, I'm going to describe some of the aspects on the card because it's important for the interpretation. So the woman's like this, and she's got the rainbow going between two hands. That's very positive, very happy, right? Rainbows come after the storm. But you can see in the background, that's where the storm is, right? And I bet you any money she traveled through that storm to get where she is. And so this card is just reminding us, you really have to feel your feelings. If you're, one reason that we can become stagnant or if we're really depressed, or just stuck, one thing that can really, really, really impact that is not feeling our feelings. If there's something that you don't want to address in your head, odds are it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and stronger until it overcomes you. So this, you got to feel that. Look, she's so happy. You see that? She's so happy. It's because she felt the stuff. She went through the storm. You can't keep, you can't push the bad stuff into a box. You can't keep sweeping it under the rug. Feelings don't work like that. So I don't know what it is that you need to feel, whether it's grief or grief. I say grief because a lot of not just people dying. I'm talking about loss of relationship, loss of anything, even in objects, or an old way of life, a house. There's so much that you can lose, and when our life gets shaken up like that, it leaves us confused, lost, and whatnot. So you really need to feel those things in order to make it through your storm. If that makes any sense. I love this deck. I love this deck because, many reasons, but the art is so pretty, very inclusive. People of all skin tones in this deck, and of all ages. There's kids all the way up to elderly people in this deck, and that sometimes, especially with decks you get online, some of the decks don't have very good representation, but I love this. Yeah. Melina, I'm sorry that you're dealing with grief. If you ever, if you want to talk about it, send me a message. I, you know, I put my prices as cheap as possible for full readings and stuff. I do have a grief deck that I would be more than happy to go through with you and do some journaling or something, and just talk it out. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry you're going through it, for real. But grief is one of those things that it touches all of us, and we gotta help each other through it because it's one thing that we all have in common. We all have experienced grief, or we all will experience grief at some point in our lives, and probably a grief that will shake our entire foundation, our entire world. Okay. So next up, it was Terry. Yes, Terry. Hope you're still here, Terry. I'm getting to you. All right. Oh, one other thing, Melina. Journaling on your own is good too. Like if you don't feel comfortable, laying it out there for me, just free writing for yourself is like a really good idea. Anything that comes to mind, just write it down. You can throw it out afterwards. You can burn it afterwards. Whatever you want to do. All right, Terry. This is one that I've never gotten to. Look at, I'm so glad that you guys are here because I find that when I do for myself, I get the same cards usually, roughly. But I've never gotten this one. Summon the Rain. This is neat. The clouds are really neat. It looks like ram's horns, the curlicues. So, my gut reaction from this card is that, rain is cleansing. I don't know if this is the exact thing that the deck wants me to get out of this, but it's what I'm feeling called to tell you. Rain is very cleansing. And that's, maybe it's time, to summon the rain, to not be afraid to let it wash over you and wash all the stuff away. That's the knee-jerk reaction that I get, but I am going to read the book, because I've never read this one before. 35. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you love the rain and wind and storms. Nice. I love it too. We were supposed to get decent rain yesterday, and it just went right over us. I'm in Michigan, and the specific spot in Michigan that I am, it's like there'll be thunderstorm warnings, watches, all that stuff. It's like everybody will get hit everywhere, but it blows right over us. I hate it. I love storms. Hi, kids. I've got cats, and they're causing hectic stuff to happen. All right, summon the rain. As our wise ancestors knew, dance is the most powerful form of ritual and prayer. Dance allows you to interface with the sacred realms and connect directly with the cosmic dance itself. Conveniently, it utilizes the most powerful divine channel and magical tool there is, your body. In every human culture, dance and song are the most ancient forms of worship, prayer, devotion, and celebration. Ooh, quick note on that. That I learned in music history way back when like the Catholic Church was starting to pop up and stuff. The Catholic Church, Christian, whatever. Anyway, the head honcho didn't want music in the church at all. He thought it was distracting to worship. He thought music and that kind of joyous worship like that had no place in the church whatsoever. He thought it was completely sacrilege. Interesting, right? All right. Sorry. And I love storms and the... Oh, that had to have been magical to feel. Yeah. You know, stuff like that just, it gives me goosebumps. I got goosebumps. All right, I digress. In every human culture, dance and song are the most ancient forms of worship, prayer, devotion, celebration. Therefore, you can be certain that the primordial instinct to engage in ritual dance is encoded in your DNA. Ritual and ceremony offer you a chance to attune more deeply to the sacredness of your life and the cycles that flow through it, just as they did for your ancestors. What's more, your body responds to direct and focused intentions. Like a crystal wand, it can direct, guide, and amplify energy. Ritual dance allows you to have an immediate experience with and direct response from the sacred streams of wisdom that naturally course through your being from the great goddess. And when your movement is imbued with emotion, inner vision, and clearly expressed desire, your prayers are powerfully activated and affirmed. That's why you are now being called to embark on this embodied journey of release, revelation, and connection. What is it that you truly desire? What are your highest visions? What is your most ideal outcome? Get very clear on your most treasured intentions and access your natural power to create positive change. Do this by performing a dance ritual and expressing your prayers through movement. I feel like I have to sneeze. Whew. Bless me. A simple way to do this is to state your intention clearly. Phrase it in the present tense as if already true. For example, I am in love, I am healthy, or I am worthy. I also do that with my sigil work. Then tune into the feeling as if it's already present in your life experience. Carefully choose a piece of music that is in alignment with this feeling. You may like to adorn yourself with apparel and accessories that go along with this feeling. Set the mood with candles or increase to reinforce your intention. Incense. I swear. So I haven't read much, in the last decade or so. I feel like I've gotten kind of dyslexic reading. Like, it's nuts. Okay. Explore moving patterns in explore moving in patterns that create shapes and symbols that represent your intention. For example, big hip circles could be a shape that represents feeling worthy, or stretching your arms outward could be a symbol of being open to love. Feel gratitude for manifesting your clear intention into form. Embrace your divine nature and intuitively attune to the frequency of that which you are summoning. A dance ceremony allows you to access and direct the potent, creative energy of your body temple by bringing your mind, body, and spirit into integrated harmony. Challenge your intentions into sacred movement, and you will taste the divine nectar of your full presence and gain access to your full powers of manifestation. Man. Summon that rain, Terry. Yeah, it's awesome dancing. Go dance out in the rain. Yeah. I like it. You gotta make your own moves happen, and you gotta dance by doing that. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see. Stacy, are you still here? I would love to pull a card for you if you are. I know we got 2 people watching. I don't know if one of those is you. I wish there was a way that I could see who was watching, That'd be, Yeah. I'm glad that spoke to you. I'm really glad, Terry. Anytime. Anytime. Seriously. Even like I have to charge for full readings, but just these one card pulls, even if you just want to hit me up in my inbox and ask for one, I'll do one for you. For real. Because I'm not always on live, and my live times can vary so much. So anybody, if you just want a card pull, hit me up in the inbox, because I'll totally do that. I might pick a deck that I need to experiment with and to hone in a little bit. But yeah, totally. Oh man, my nose. I wish I lived somewhere where allergies were a thing, but I don't think that there is a place. So Stacy. I don't think Stacy's with me anymore. But I'm still gonna pull a card for her. Terry, sometimes, like I was talking about that stagnation, sometimes you just need to break out. If you felt a connection with me doing this, I'd be surprised to, go back to your own deck and see if, you get inspiration from that again. And even sometimes I find when I get readings from other people, the connection is a little deeper just because you have two energies to play off of. Even though we're not there in person, energy can transcend and can travel thousands of miles. Energy experiences time and distance differently than our earthly bodies do. So, yeah, I'm really glad. I gotta say, if you're ever interested, I do like monthly readings and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm so glad that you enjoyed this. But I'm gonna move on to Stacy. She's not here, but I'm gonna pull one for her anyway. She asked. Stacy, wherever you are. Stacy got Greet the Darkness. I switched decks. This is the Seasons of the Witch deck. Illustrated by Giada Rose. It's by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. Every time I read Lorraine Anderson, isn't that in The Conjuring? Isn't that her name? I always think of that. Anyway, Greet the Darkness. Here where the spine bends and the mouth quivers, breathes the hidden, the pieces that make you whole but cut deep with all their sharp edges. Whew. Number 19. One day. Here it is. Self and inner truth are the keywords for this one. Darkness. You might get a sense of terror from what you can't see, but not all hidden things are bad. There are many things that you cannot see that hold the secret to life, abundance, and renewal. Like the lotus flower that blooms from the darkness of muddy waters, there is beauty in the darkness for those who know where to look with their heart. You have pulled Greet the Darkness as a call to go deep into your dark corners. There are parts of you that are beautiful yet remain undiscovered. You must allow yourself to open to the unknown. You can do this by confronting old wounds, lost memories, feelings of shame, guilt, and disappointment. This is called shadow work, a practice that allows you to make friends with your demons rather than hide from them. What seems like a monster is really a lost part of you needing love and support. When feelings such as anger, resentment, and chaos come around, it is because those feelings are trying to protect you in the only way they know how. Anger only knows anger and can only offer its support in that way. Chaos only knows chaos, so that is the only way it can get your attention. These feelings are trying to help you find the beautiful gems that are waiting in the dark spaces of your being. Confront whatever feelings you have surrounding your situation. Allow those feelings to surface and face them without fear. Greet them and ask them how you can work together. Journal your meditative conversations with your dark parts. Within their words of advice, you will discover the lost or missing pieces of yourself. You know, Stacy got a great card, and I wish you were here to hear it. Seriously, though, I love this card. This is a card that is asking you to do shadow work, you know. Stacy, you're ready to do it wherever you are. I always say shadow work or inner child work. I find that they are kind of one and the same. I have been doing a lot of inner child work lately. That's kind of what this is a part of, my inner child work. And, just diving into what my inner kid wants to do. And I would urge everybody, I know this reading is for Stacy, but we can all benefit from getting in tune with our inner child, for real. I don't even like kids, alright? And I am urging this. Because a lot of times our first traumas happened when we were young, right? Really young. Oh, what did I do? There we go. Really young. And if the trauma is bad enough, or if you've not even addressed the trauma itself, it can really impact you, and it can get bigger and bigger over time, and impact your day-to-day life, for real. If the trauma was big enough, your inner child can't grow with you. Your inner child is going to stay that way. So imagine you at 9 years old, something bad happened, still haunts you to this day. That's holding you back. All right. Something that kind of helped me a little bit, kind of address the traumas at least. Dominica Applegate. All right. Yeah, I'll totally, I'll write it down right now. Okay. Oh, don't make way back in 1987. Don't make it sound like that far back. Anyway, okay. So it can trap you there. So something that I noticed with my traumas is a lot of times I would have to remind myself that I'm not 16 anymore. I would still feel like 16 years old. And I'm not. I'm going to be 29. So it's that kind of thing. When you have trauma that breaks you, that makes you look cracked, it can stunt your growth, your emotional and your spiritual growth, 100%. So it's it's so important to do that shadow work, to do that inner kid work, because we need it. Another thing that goes along that same train of thought is talk to yourself as if you were a little kid, your inner dialogue, your what you tell yourself when you mess up, what you tell yourself when you do something good. Imagine a little kid came to you and said, I messed up. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna chastise them, beat them, no, you're gonna comfort them. You're gonna say it's okay, you did a mistake, and it can be fixed. Or if it can't be fixed, you'll be like, okay, you learned this time, and you cannot do this again in the future, right? Being that patient with ourselves, and that offering ourselves that grace is so important, because we beat ourselves up so much. Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Yeah, kind of. If you address it, definitely. But I know a lot of people with trauma that are afraid to address it, and I will say that fear is kind of a weakness. The fear of facing that, because there's nothing to be afraid of, when dealing with trauma. The trauma already happened. You don't have to be there again, right? So, while facing your trauma and reliving it in your mind can be difficult, let's face it, you're already doing that. You know, even you're not healing, you're just reliving it and getting stuck. So, why not heal through it? You know, that's that's what it's all about, you know, healing and yeah, healing oracle. That's what I'm all about. I'm all about healing, you know. Forgive yourself and forgive yourself for, you know, letting it go on for so long or letting it bug you for so long, this that or the other thing, you know. It's okay. It's okay. 100% Terry. 100%. 100%. All right. I think I'm gonna pop off. Hop off, pop off, pop off. Isn't that like slang for shooting something? I'm not gonna pop off. I'm gonna hop off. First I got these. You know, they're just cute little cards that have like a little saying on them. It's May You Know Joy. Seeds of Intention cards. So we're planting a seed today, and we're gonna see what we can grow from this seed. Right? All right. For today, I surprised myself. There's that. For today, oh, maybe I just gotta get closer. For today, I surprised myself. Alright. Let's go out there and surprise all of us today, huh? Surprise the world. In a good way. I know we could be really impressive in a bad way. But let's do it in a good way today. Alright. Thank you, everyone, for being on here and for listening, for watching. Might be on later this week, you know, if you know, the winds pull me here. Alright. Peace out. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.